It's showtime.
Okay guys, welcome back. To quickly answer a question from the chat, I don't have 3 locks, there's 2 locks and a hatch as well, because it is a 120-year-old door, so it's to keep it secure, keep me safe, and as who was it? As Braino Jack said, to keep all the rabid fans out, there is a huge cheering crowd outside the back for me. You can barely hear them over the music, that's why the music's a little bit louder. Just so you guys can hear that, not all the cheering, because it gets a little bit hard to cast with all that there, so... but either way, yeah, it's a 120-year-old door, basically, that's all. There's no cheering fans outside or anything like that, but there is a lot of traffic noise, so... Welcome to an old building. I have 13-foot high ceilings as well, which helps for me as I'm 6'5", so... I feel like a normal person in this house, so it's all good. But let's actually head into game number 2. Now I did see who it was going to be, but let's introduce them anyway. It's going to be OyAji versus Indi. Now OyAji, a very, very strong player for iRk. He's 3 for 0 this round. He was 3 for 1 last round as well. He's currently 3 for 1 against Protoss. So that's kind of cool for him, like obviously standing toe-to-toe with the Walt statistics-wise for his team as well, doing a great job. Now his opponent is going to be the former DM player. Wait, no, that was Zimba, I think. Yeah, no, Indi has been on ReV the whole time, I think, so my mistake. He did lose both of his games last round, unfortunately. One of those games was... PvP, so we're going to have to see how he does here against one of the best Protoss players on iRk as we head on to Benzene, our 2-player map of today. And our Benzene, of course, as you can see, a space platform map. This is going to be our first PvP on here, but you may have seen this map quite recently on Ladder, as well as in like the ASL 2 and 3, it was in both of them, which was kind of cool, but it does originate from the 2010 Shinhan Bank Pro League, on one of my favourite 2-player maps, so... Really looking forward to seeing how both of these players are going to play this out as we head in to game number 2. It's iRk's OyAji versus ReV's Indi. Now, starting us off in the top right-hand position, we do have the red Protoss fighting for iRk. It's going to be OyAji. And his opponent spawning down in the bottom left-hand position in the green, fighting for ReV. It's iRk. I'm sorry. It's iRk fighting for ReV. It's all the team in one Protoss playing Team Melee. No, it's Indi. Now, throughout my time casting the STPL, I will say, back in the day, the only Protoss players I used to watch play PvP were the SKT Protosses, so my knowledge was terrible, right? I knew nothing about PvP, because I barely paid any attention to it because I was a Terran player. But I have seen so many PvPs in STPL Round 1. We've seen less in Round 2 and much less in Round 3. The teams are diversified a hell of a lot. So I've learned a lot about the mirror matchups previously, and now we're getting to see a lot more TVP, a lot more ZVT, a lot more PvZ as well. So that's kind of exciting. But we're going to have at least... OyAji going into 1 gate, Gas, this has been kind of his go-to style, and Indi's going to be doing that as well, just a little bit further behind time-wise. So OyAji definitely has the advantage here. He's also going to get the quicker scout, which is going to be kind of annoying for Indi to have to really deal with. We'll have to see if he does go into a Zealot behind this, or if he'll wait for his Cybernetics core. Looks like he is going to wait for the core for now. OyAji doing the same thing. So, mirror builds as we get into game number 2. Now, despite the fact that Gas was a little bit later, he does get the core at the same time. Still no Zealot coming in for both players, but we are going to see the first scouts coming in, obviously OyAji in the main, not really doing too much, doing a little bit of probe harass where he can, see if he can do some damage. Now still no Zealot there, but second pylon coming in. Now, unlike OyAji, Indi isn't doing any probe harass, so maybe feeling a little bit more taxed with his APM, wants to make sure he macros properly. As I did say, OyAji, one of the stronger Protoss players on iRk, so there could be a little bit of nerves coming in here from Indi as well. His team's up 1-0, so obviously this game necessarily isn't super important for ReV right now, but obviously they want to win as many games as humanly possible because every single game counts in the STPL to the overall standings. So that's what we're kind of looking out for. Now we are going to have Dragoons coming out from both players. That's going to push away the probes. Now we see that Indi has pulled his probe away a lot quicker, but OyAji's still going to get out as well. So I mean, there's not really too much we can say here, other than the fact things are very, very even. We've not really had any big changes. Now, one of the big differences is OyAji got his second Dragoon a little bit quicker, got his, I believe it'll be the 21st probe as well, a little bit quicker. So, OyAji's macro kind of kicking in just a little bit faster here. Now, back at home, still no additional tech being added for either player. That's going to be a while before we should see it fairly soon, unless they're both going to expand. Now, OyAji making use of this high ground. I'm going to be able to see when the Dragoons leave his base. I'm going to be able to check when this expansion comes up as well. That's kind of important. We see Indi doing a pretty similar thing, but he's doing it a little bit further back. And then we are going to have a robo facility at the front for OyAji. And it's going to be exactly the same here for Indi as well. So, really, this is the most mirror builds you could possibly imagine. Now, I know we saw this on it was on Friday when I last casted with Rapid, and we were a little bit confused as to why the robo would be at the front of the base, but the main reason behind this is when you're defending early on, we're going to see both of them going into an expansion fairly quickly after this. When you're defending, you can get your your Reaver up a lot quicker to the front, so you don't have to worry too much about that kind of thing. Now, Indi is taking a more forward position. This is because he is going to go for a Nexus. We do have the second gateway coming in for OyAji, and behind this is going into Robo and Support Bay at exactly the same time. So the expansion timing definitely a little bit better here for Indi. OyAji's going to be a while away from this expo now. He's going to be trying to use his his gateway advantage to get a little bit of extra damage done a little bit sooner. Now Indi's tech is going to be a little bit later as well, so he is going to have to be careful. Now Indi is going to check in. Does he see the expansion? I believe that would be just out of range, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But I think he's going to assume by the number of Dragoons that this is going to be a Robo Support Bay. Now, what is the tech choice going to be? We've got Robotic Support Bay back here as well. Interestingly, no Observatory yet. He skipped that to try and get the Nexus up a little bit quicker. Now, obviously we don't have DTs coming in for OyAji. If we did, this would be a different story. But it is just going to be Shuttle Reaver coming out here for him. The first Observer going to be heading over, getting a little bit of scouting done as well. But in the meantime where this is going on, Indi, of course, his expansion is about to finish up. We have the observatory back here as well. Apparently this is my blind spot because I missed 2 buildings there on the minimap. But it's all good. The Reaver going to be heading forward now. OyAji should actually see this with his observer, so the observer not really going to be doing too much. Now, one thing OyAji has to be careful of is there is an observatory by his opponent, and this observer could snipe this one, and that's kind of annoying to deal with. Now, I believe we already have the shuttle out for... no, we don't. We've actually only just now got the shuttle. There is a probe scouting up to the 3rd base, checking for any proxies. But this observer actually in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be able to get away, it looks like, but just barely. One more shot there, and that would have gone down. Oh wow, it's actually taking a 3rd base or hiding something over here. That's kind of dangerous, but I guess this could just be to scout for any shuttles coming in. One thing about PvP that you may not know is PvP is very, very brutal, and when I say brutal, I mean all of a sudden one shuttle flies into your base and every single one of your probes is dead, and suddenly you're losing the game, and that can happen when you're miles ahead as well. So We're definitely going to see both players playing quite passively for the time being. No player really wants to attack into each other, knowing that there's ReVs for both sides. We're going to have the shuttle finally coming in for Indi. Now, we are going to have the observer still checking around what's going on. That'll be the same guy from before. But of course, OyAji heading out with his own ReV in the shuttle. Third gateway coming in. No additional tech back at home. Looks like he could be adding the Citadel on soon, though. No, it's going to be another pylon. And the shuttles are actually going to fly into each other, I believe. It looks like OyAji may get by. This is going to be quite close, but let's have a look. It looks like, oh my god, OyAji has actually just missed this. Sorry, Indi's missed this, so this is going to be flying straight into the main, and there's no defense back here. This is why PvP could be so brutal. Actually, he's going to drop in the natural, gets a huge Scarab, and he's going to get away as well. And I mean, possibly going into the main would be a little bit better there, but he just doesn't really know what's going on. His observer is chased away, and we're going to see the shuttle coming in for Indi. Now, the difference is OyAji, of course, did see this. Now, shuttle speed has now finished for both players as well. So the shuttle's going to be speeding around at the speed of sound here, going to pass each other in the middle. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a Dragoon in with this, so he can't try and chase it down or anything, but I mean, we're going to be going back to a little bit more passive. Neither player should really lose too much to ReV drops anymore. We're going to have at least an observer up here, so he's going to be able to see when the shuttle comes back in. Now, OyAji does see where the shuttle is from Indi. Now, if Indi's not careful, OyAji could actually send a couple of Dragoons over, but it looks like OyAji trying to find another entrance in. Now, there is a couple of Dragoons in the main, actually moving some of them a little bit closer, but OyAji sees this, turns around immediately, and in the meantime, he is going to try and move forward with a lot of Dragoons. Indi's shuttle coming in to try and intercept this as well, but OyAji going to get into the main. The Dragoon's not fully in position. And while this is happening, the units from OyAji going to be going into the main. Oh my god, he's actually forced the probes away. He's going to get on top of the probes from the side. Oh, that's another big Scarab. It could have been a little bit bigger. But Indi once again pulling too many units away. ReV back again. 6 kills on this guy. Looks like it's going to bug out this time. Good usage of the Dragoons to block that there. But the shuttle very actually low on health. Does need to be careful. Indi unable to do any damage with his shuttle. Just kind of leaving it back at home for now. Second ReV is out at the front. But unfortunately, Indi is just kind of being pulled around right now. OyAji with a very big supply lead at the moment. He's now up to 6 gateways. Citadel coming in. There's going to be a Forge coming in soon as well, most likely. And we could even see a third base from him. Now, the problem is... Oh, actually, this is a bit dangerous. We're going to have OyAji coming in from both angles to try and catch the shot. The shot, unfortunately, is going to go down the ReV drop tail. Can it get a good Scarab? It gets one that does a decent amount of damage. But that's a big, big loss. Now, OyAji has actually given up on his shuttle for now. He's going to be waiting for them. Oh, wow, he's not. He's actually going to be heading in with 3 ReVs right now. Now, Indi's going to be forced to try and deal with this. He's moving forward, trying to pick off as many units as he can. But there's going to be 3 ReVs here, and that is going to be very annoying. The 2 ReVs at the top doing a lot of damage. Indi jumping on top of them, unable to get them. OyAji's control in PvP is insane. The shuttle goes down, but the ReV's doing so much damage. OyAji has killed most of the units here for Indi. Indi had his ReV at the back. It wasn't able to do any damage. There's a Templar here, but he doesn't have enough energy for Storm. Now the ReV getting a good Scarab, unfortunately unable to save with the shuttle. The shuttle's going to go down as well. The High Templar is being morphed into an Archon next to a massive army. Not going to work out. It looks like OyAji's done enough. He's broken the front, and GG. OyAji takes down Indi in that PvP to take us into game number 3 with a 1-1 score. So really, really good play by OyAji. They're really capitalizing on his opponent's positioning mistakes there. A little bit unfortunate for Indi, though. I think if the game had gone a little bit longer, if it had managed to keep that shot alive, that could have been a different situation entirely. But obviously that's going to take us to the end of game 3. We're going to be back after this break with game number 4. We're going to be heading on to Icarus to see Jerry K97 versus Medinho. It's going to be another ZBT, and this one should be a good one. Don't go anywhere, guys. See you guys very soon.